Today, I'm recommending a survival movie that will seriously give you chills. It tells the story of a pregnant woman who ends up giving birth completely alone in the middle of the ocean. From that moment on, everything she does is about protecting her newborn daughter and fighting to stay alive. And trust me, the ending is packed with twists. There's not a single dull moment in this film. The story begins in a world where Spain and nearby countries are facing extreme food shortages. In response, the government launches a brutal extermination plan. First, the elderly are targeted. 7 months later, the order expands to children and pregnant women. The military is instructed to eliminate unborn babies before they're even born. Desperate to survive, people spend their life savings and risk everything to escape illegally to safer regions. Nick and his pregnant wife, Mia, are among them. Through an underground agent, they sneak into a shipping container under the cover of darkness. Inside, there are other pregnant women and children. One woman makes a small hole in the metal wall to let air in, easing the suffocating heat. Through that tiny opening, they witness chaos outside. Protesters in the streets, police beating civilians, pregnant women and children being dragged away and locked in cages. Seeing that nightmare, no one regrets trying to flee. Nick gives Mia a small piece of chocolate, a tiny moment of sweetness in a collapsing world. Soon, the container doors open again. More people are forced inside. During the chaos, Mia falls. The agent brings another group, and the crowd grows out of control. Then a strong, bald man fires a gun to restore order, announcing that another truck is ready and everyone must move calmly. But in the confusion, Nick gets separated. When he tries to climb back in, a guard pushes him away. Mia's only support is suddenly gone. Through the small air hole, she spots Nick entering a green container marked 107. They speak briefly on the phone. Nick promises he'll come back for her when he can. He warns her not to trust anyone. But fate has other plans. At a checkpoint, soldiers inspect the truck. Though the paperwork checks out, the army insists on a full search. Officers step inside, carefully examining every corner. One officer senses something off. After stepping outside and counting his steps, he orders gunfire. Bullets tear through the container, but not where the people are actually hiding. Suspicious, the officer re-enters. This time, he calmly tells the hidden migrants to come out, promising safety instead of execution. Mia remembers Nick's warning. She quickly hides on top of a wooden crate. When another woman reveals their hiding spot, the officer shows no mercy and kills her instantly. Then he orders all the undocumented migrants executed. Mia survives only because she's hidden above them. The officer orders the scene cleaned and loots their belongings before sealing the container shut. As soon as the doors close, Mia gasps for air and tries messaging Nick, warning him to be careful. Time passes. Her container is loaded onto a ship, but before the ship leaves port, she still hasn't heard from Nick. Inside the container, she finds a bag with a power drill, a bottle of water, a phone, and a glow stick. She ignores them at first, hoping she'll reach safety soon. But that hope is shattered. A violent storm hits the ocean at night. Massive waves flip the ship. Mia loses consciousness. When she wakes up, half her body is submerged in freezing seawater. Through the bullet holes in the container, water is pouring in. Wooden crates float around her. She tries calling Nick, but her phone screen is cracked and won't unlock. Using yellow tape she finds, she temporarily seals the holes. She discovers a knife, clothing boxes, a TV, headphones, but no food. Then she hears screaming outside. She looks through the hole and sees the green container. 107, Nick's container. Moments later, it sinks beneath the waves. Panicked, she inserts her SIM card into an old Nokia phone and calls Nick again and again for an entire day and night. No answer. Overwhelmed with despair, she nearly slits her wrist. Then her unborn baby kicks hard. That kick saves her. This is her second child. Her first daughter had died before. Looking at her old daughter's photo, guilt and grief flood her heart. She decides she will survive, no matter what, for this baby. She cuts down a hanging crate, uses rubber seals to block more leaks, and attaches a pipe to drain water slowly. It's not much, but it's something. She marks water levels on the wall to track time. Eventually, her phone rings. It's Nick. He explains he was removed from the container earlier, which saved his life. He promises he'll find her. But before he can say more, the battery dies. That night, another storm hits. Mia goes into labor. Alone in a flooded metal container drifting in the ocean, she gives birth to a baby girl. But there's a terrifying problem. She has no food. Without nutrition, she can't produce milk. She must escape. Using the drill, she tries cutting through the metal wall, but the baby's cries distract her. She sings to calm her down. Still, the drill battery dies halfway through. Now she's trapped. Water supplies are nearly gone. Her knife isn't strong enough to cut metal. She grows weak from dehydration. Suddenly, a massive tail passes by the hole. A whale. It roars, terrifying her. She bangs on the container to scare it away. The whale eventually leaves, but it won't be the last time they meet. Water continues rising. Her knife breaks. Her phone is dead. She's out of water. In desperation, she nearly drinks seawater, but instead pours it over her head. She starts collecting condensation drops from the metal ceiling. The water tastes salty and makes her sick. Then rain begins. Through the drill hole she made earlier, fresh rainwater pours in. She drinks desperately and fills every container she can find. Looking at a soda can reminds her of the drill's dead battery. An idea forms. She ties a rope to the weakened metal panel and uses all her strength, every ounce of a mother's determination, to rip it open. Sunlight floods in, but outside there's nothing but endless ocean. She changes her baby's diaper and tosses the used one into the sea. Fish gather around it. Suddenly inspired, she builds a makeshift fishing rod, but catches nothing and collapses from exhaustion. Then she spots a plane overhead. She smashes the TV, uses a shard of glass to reflect sunlight as a signal, but the plane is too far away. Next, she uses headphone wires to create a fishing net. The following morning, she tosses the diaper again as bait. This time, it works. She catches a large fish. For the first time in days, she eats. She writes multiple help letters, seals them in lunch boxes, and throws them into the ocean. She talks to her baby constantly, telling stories about her past, about meeting Nick, about surviving war. She promises she'll never give up. Then her phone rings one last time. Nick. He's been shot while hiding during his escape. He won't survive. Through tears, she tells him their daughter has been born. She holds the phone close to the baby so he can hear her voice one final time. His voice fades and disappears. Nick is gone. But Mia must stay strong. The water inside the container reaches critical levels. She moves outside with the baby and creates a simple distillation system using sponges and a lunchbox lid to produce drinkable water. One day, a seagull flies overhead. Where there are seagulls, land isn't far. Hope returns. She builds a small sail, but before she can move far, the container structure collapses completely. Water rushes in. The container begins to sink. Her leg gets tangled in a rope underwater. She dives repeatedly, trying to free herself. The rope tightens like a death trap. With her last breath, she cuts it and swims up. But her baby is gone. Panic takes over. Then the whale reappears. Terrified, she tries to swim away, but the whale doesn't attack. Instead, it approaches a small floating wooden shelter where her baby is drifting. The whale splashes water, making the baby cry. Hearing the cry, Mia swims toward the sound. They're reunited. Soon after, she uses fish bones to attract seagulls. Their gathering catches the attention of nearby fishermen. A fishing boat approaches. They rescue the baby first. Then they pull Mia aboard. She's pale and barely breathing. A young woman on the boat performs mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Mia survives. When she wakes and sees her daughter safe in her arms, she realizes it's real. She breaks down in tears. After everything, the loss, the storms, the ocean, the cruelty of humanity, and the mercy of nature, Mia understands both the fragility and strength of life. She will start over. She will carry Nick's memory with her forever, and she will move forward for her daughter, Noah.